Are you someone that's interested in going to cosmetology school and you love hearing different people's perspective of going to school? Well, stay tuned to hear my real life experience going to cosmetology school. Hi you guys, I'm Akira and welcome to my beauty lounge where I share helpful tips, tutorials, and advice for aspiring cosmetologists. Make sure you subscribe to instantly become a part of the VIP crew. Let's talk about the enrollment process. So I set up a tour to go tour the school, of course, and to look over some paperwork. Fell in love with the place, fell in love with the atmosphere. I really vibed with it. And then we went back to the office, looked over some paperwork. Pretty much I signed my life away and we went from there. So I signed up for a part-time program, which was 22 months long. And you went Monday through Thursday, 5:30 to 9:30 to 10 o'clock, something like that. I can't really remember. And I did part-time because I was working during the daytime. The school that I went to, the price estimate was at the time around $20,000, you guys, because I chose to go to a private beauty school, which you do not have to do that. You can always go to a technical school or something like that because it is pretty pricey and it is probably higher than that now. The first day of cosmetology school was like this epiphany. I never felt a feeling like that. I felt a sense of belonging. I felt like I was supposed to be there. And on the first day of school, of course you gotta wear, I believe dress code was black and white, or you could wear all black, wear all white, a combination of both. So I believe I wore all black. And I really didn't know, I was so nervous in going into it because I really didn't know what to expect. So we got to meet our classmates and it was a good bit of girls in the class, I believe. And there was a couple of us that started on this term. So we got to meet our educator. He was really cool. And on the first day of school, which everyone is always so excited about, is getting your beauty kits. Like, that's what everybody looks for, your beauty kits. So basically, we went through our kits. We checked off everything to make sure everything that was supposed to be in there was in there. And these kits come fully loaded with, you know, hair dryers, combs, brushes, clips, flat irons. Even though the flat irons aren't really, wasn't really worth anything. But that blow dryer lasted me until like a few months ago when it broke. Got a chance to introduce ourselves to the girls that was in the class. They introduced themselves and that was it. But I remember going home telling my mom, like, yeah, I'm making the right move. I felt so good when I went home that night and I was so excited for my journey because I absolutely fell in love with it. So now I'm going to explain the curriculum and how it's set up. So beauty school is set up into, we call them modules at the school I went to, and a module is pretty much the curriculum. So for instance, we had hair cutting, hair design, chemicals, hair color, skincare, nails. When you first start, you are going to start in the classroom. Since I did part-time, I was in the classroom for about 7 to 8 months, roughly. I can't really remember. So once you get the fundamentals down, then you will move on to the salon floor. But each module would last, I believe, 4 to 6 weeks, and after that module was over, you would start another one. So I came in on hair cutting. After hair cutting, we moved on to the next module, and each module is when new people would enroll, you know, when new people will come into the classroom. So just expect every new module, new students are coming in. So everybody starts in on a different module. So I started in on hair cutting. When hair cutting rolled back around, that's when it's time for me to go onto the salon floor. I hope that makes sense. Before you get to any using the mannequins or anything like that, you're gonna do book work. And you do tons of book work for probably the first week, I believe. And then we moved on, the following week, we moved on to actually cutting some hair. And you have to expect to learn. It's going to be a lot of book work. A lot of people think that cosmetology school is all hands-on, and it is a lot of hands-on, but you have to learn the fundamentals of hair cutting and hair coloring first before you get out there and start doing hands-on work. And I was the most excited about nails when I was in school, which is so surprising because I never really thought that I wanted to do nails, but I was so excited to play with some acrylic and all of that. And you guys, you do get to do that. I will say skincare, we touched on makeup, but I think it just depends on how deep you go with something. It just depends on your educators and your school curriculum, but we touched bases on makeup. We did not stay on it very long. So if you're thinking of going to cosmetology school for makeup, don't expect the whole skincare to be about makeup. I would ask your teacher to probably spend a little bit more time on it though. So let's talk about the struggles that happened during cosmetology school. The number one thing when we first started school was the drama. Oh my God. You can imagine it's tons of girls, tons of different personalities and egos. Like I'm gonna be honest, the hair industry has some of the biggest egos in any industry. You have so many egos, so competitive, just drama. It was like the Bad Girls Club, y'all. I'm not even playing. This is how it was when we first started. So it was like the Bad Girls Club. It was tons of drama. I'm not gonna get into too much of what type of drama, but it was a lot of drama. I would say to just stay focused on your end goal. Don't get caught up and wrapped up in all the drama that will happen, because that's kind of the inevitable when it's a bunch of girls and different egos and stuff collide. That's just how it's gonna be. Another thing that I would say was a struggle was throughout my entire 2 years of being there, we had so many different educators. Some got laid off, some got fired, some people quit. It was just a lot of in and out of educators, and you kind of just didn't, you can't get too comfortable, because next thing you know, you're gonna have a different teacher. But the positive of having different educators is you get to learn different techniques from different people, and everybody does things differently. As long as you get to the same end goal, it does not matter how you get there. But it just was a lot of inconsistency, and they took away some teachers that we really loved, and yeah, that just was hard for us. Another thing that kind of changed the game in cosmetology school was I found out that I was pregnant 2 months after I started school, and that really kind of, I thought it was going to throw me off track, but that really put everything into perspective, and I thought I would quit, but I held on and I got through it. So if you are a new mom or you found out you're pregnant, just keep pushing. Your school can probably work with you, but do not give up just because something life-altering happens. Keep pushing. The positives about cosmetology school was you got to meet so many different people. You got to be around so many creative people, so many like-minded people. Once we got through the drama and the people that was starting the drama left, it was like a family. We had so many good times. We used to do potlucks all the time. We had parties for anything. It just was like a big family, and it just was amazing to have those girls to be around. And even to this day, I still communicate with some of them, mostly through social media, but it's just so cool to see those girls. We had some good memories, and I'm just gonna always hold on to those memories. I will say some of the educators that we had was very fun. We got to play like fun learning games. We used to always play Jeopardy and stuff like that. So some of the educators really made learning fun for us. So it was really cool to have those different perspectives when it came to educating. We did fun stuff, like we did a couple of hair shows, which I will probably insert some clips. We did a couple hair shows and competitions and stuff like that, which was really fun, and they got to test our creativity. After you finish the curriculum and all that, you get to go to the salon floor. Oh my God. Once haircutting rolled back around, that's when I went onto the salon floor. And you also, at my school, you get a different teacher. You move into a different classroom. So 8 months of being in the classroom, you finally move on to the salon floor, which I'm not gonna lie, it can be very terrifying at first. And it's this moment that's been hyped up since you started cosmetology school. You actually get to take clients and start being the professional that you are. So it's kind of terrifying at first. I remember the first night I was so nervous, and I don't remember, I think the first night of being on the salon floor, one day a week we would be in the classroom. So my first day we was in the classroom, but the rest of the days we would be on the salon floor. But the salon floor was really cool. Once you got, after the first week, you got rid of those jitters. It was very cool because you got to interact with real clients. You got to build your skills up and all of that. But I will say, at my school, I'm pretty sure most schools go by credits or whatever. So say for instance, before you graduate, you have to have, it's the sheet we had to keep track of. You had to have at least 80 relaxers, or I'm just throwing stuff out there, 80 relaxers or 80 relaxer retouch, 20, 40 color retouches, or just a bunch of stuff, manicures, pedicures that you had to complete and check off a certain number of them before you can actually graduate school. And you had to get to your, was it 1530 hours or 1500 hours? It was something like that. You had to get all of those credits before you could graduate. So it was very important while you're on the salon floor to get a lot more of those credits done. My advice is to get most of those credits done in the classroom and early on as soon as you get on the salon floor versus when you're almost ready to graduate, because you will be scrambling trying to get manicures and pedicures. And also being on the salon floor, people start to see that you do good work, and you will start to get consistent clients coming in, regular clients. The only thing that I will say is don't expect a lot of those clients to follow you after you graduate, because cosmetology school prices are very cheap and very inexpensive, and a lot of those people have been coming to that school for a long time and they love those prices, and once you leave they will find the next best stylist to go to. That's just being honest. A lot of them don't follow you. Also, being on the salon floor, you had to do like you had to have a certain number of dispensary hours and also front desk, like receptionist hours as well, before you could graduate. I also forgot to mention, when I first got on the salon floor, I was like 7 months pregnant at the time. I was something like that. I was big and pregnant at the time. So I pretty much went to school up until the day before that I had my son. So I was not giving up. So if I did it, you could do it too. So this is something else that kind of annoyed me, was the way the school was set up. You couldn't miss like 7, or was it, I think it was maybe 14 days consecutively, something like that. So I had my son on a Wednesday, y'all. I'm not lying to y'all. I went back to school the following Wednesday just so they wouldn't drop me from my class. I went back just so they wouldn't drop me. I know I probably could have stayed out almost in 2 weeks, but I just wanted to go ahead and go and then be able to stay home a few more days to heal up. I came back to school and I came back full throttle, but I noticed my body wasn't really healing like it should have, so I actually took another week off. Granted, that whole time I still had perfect attendance my entire 2 years of going there. Even after having my son, it was not easy. You have to have a support system for doing something like this. So completing the 15 hours, y'all, because I did take at least 2 weeks in total off after I had my son, that did kind of push my graduation date back a little bit. So y'all, if y'all don't know, I forgot to mention, cosmetology school is hourly based. You have to clock in. So if you're not there and you're late, those hours not being there pushes your graduation date back. So I was supposed to graduate in 22 months, but I think I made it to like 2 whole years, maybe 2 whole years. It was not easy getting to that point. I scrambled trying to get all of my credits done. Like I said, don't be like me and a lot of the other people I went to school with. Get your credits done as soon as possible. That was pretty much the hardest thing, was getting all my credits done and finishing school. And it came to a point that when I was almost done where I just hated going. I was ready to be done. I had senioritis. I'm like, I'm over this. I'm just ready to get my license and be done with it. Finally, I got all my credits done. Perfect attendance my entire time, and I'm just glad that I made it through this entire experience, because 2 years, it may not seem like a long time, or 22 months may not seem like a long time, but it was a long time. Okay, it was a long time. Like I said, I had a baby during the whole experience, and it was not easy. It was not easy one bit, and people try to make it seem like I'll just go to cosmetology school, just get my hair license. It's not that easy, boo-boo, and I'm telling you, it's not, okay? You have to go in this with the passion for it, because if not, It was tons of girls that dropped out. They discovered that it wasn't their passion, or it just was too time consuming. They didn't want to do it. So make sure this is for you before you enroll. Like I said, it's a lot of money for one. It's a lot of time, a lot of commitment. I hope you guys enjoyed listening to my cosmetology school experience. If you guys have any questions or comments, always leave them down below. I always comment back and reply to you guys. I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.